So let's say you actually feel like you're interested in starting a durian orchard. So this is a video that firstly will talk to you about what's there to expect, what's the risk that you can expect from doing this whole business. Second, we'll run through with you some of the startup costs that is involved in this business and of course the profit that may come with it. If after you listen to what it takes, cost and profit, and you are still interested, at the end we'll talk about some of the common general topics that you will actually want to look at to ensure the whole business to be smooth, and at the end of this video you should have a general idea of what it takes to actually own and manage a full durian orchard. Now, the first piece, let's talk about some of the risks or like all the things that's involved to start out a durian orchard. Now, first thing to know that durian orchard, we are talking a farm, it takes a lot of labor work. So either you want to do a lot of this labor work yourself, which most of the time very difficult. You will start to manage and hire workers as well to know how to like set it up, the orchard, have people to help you out. So managing like a group of people, group of workers to support you is gonna be a core part. It's a very labor manual intensive type of work. Now second things too is also a lot of risks are involved, in the sense that the earlier initial startup time can easily take like 5 to 6 years before you actually get the first fruit of durian from your planting phase, planting the tree, all the way up to when you actually collect the fruit. It takes that long. And there's also a lot of different risks involved. Like we can also talk about there can be fungal infection on the tree and how you don't get fruit from there. And it's also very common sometimes for like a whole area's durian to suddenly not have any fruit during a supposedly like a fruiting season. So that's actually very common, and just some season will go by and you will somehow not make much profit from there because there's no fruiting from the tree at all. These are things to be expected as part of the whole process. You also need to know there are going to be animals as well as insects as part of the risk. Also need to manage all these kind of risks involved. And yeah, lastly, just know that there are also some people who smell it, they can come in and steal. So those are also part of the risk to manage. So those are all the risks to manage and to expect as well. So if you feel like after you listen to all this, you feel it's possible, well, let's watch on. Now the next part, let's talk about the cost. Now if you're talking about the cost, now firstly we are gonna talk about the land. At this time of shooting, we're at August in 2020, a land 7 acre, easily probably close to million. We are talking about here. Let's do a little bit of maths. So the piping, the irrigation system is a very important part of the process for water to be flowing at all these trees, and it's actually very helpful for you to set it up first, because that way it actually wouldn't harm the tree. You can still lay down the pipe after you have some tree growing a little bit, but that becomes very tedious and a lot more difficult. So we recommend you to set up the piping first. And for this 7 acre of land, we are talking like 10,000 per acre. And then afterward, we will be talking about plowing the land. You can see this land over here, there's layers and layers, right? So if you can like show around a bit, you can see layers. These are lands that's already well set up. So we are talking about 3,000 to 5,000 per acre to actually set up the land. And we are also talking that you actually need a freaking Jeep or car that can actually drive through from the highway, go through all this road to this area here. So you're like a 4-wheel drive car with all the car trunk to store a durian, so you need to have that car as well. And I think that would be primarily most of the costs. The others are gonna be a smaller cost that we are talking about, like the tree sapling, all this, not that high. We'll just put an estimated figure here. Now let's talk per season. Here is where we are getting to the exciting part. We'll talk the profit that come from it after you deduct some of the seasonal costs. So those are the startup costs. So seasonal costs per season, if you talk about like 1 acre per fruiting season, 1 acre you can have easily like 35 to 40 trees. Let's do a conservative estimate. We will put 35 trees, and then we will put like per tree you can easily do like 100 fruits. And let's do an average of 50 ringgit per fruit. The price of durian fruit varies a lot. It can go from 30 to 50, it can even drop to 9. So it depends on the type of fruit, and also that's why it's good to invest in some refrigeration system. But for now, you can easily estimate 100 fruits, 50 ringgit, 35 trees. So we'll show the figure over here. That's how much you can make revenue. Now that is not including the worker, the fixed cost yet. And also fertilizer is actually a big part of the cost. Like every single fertilizer, we are actually talking like about per acre is about 2 to 3,000 worth of fertilizer. And yeah, that's about it. So if you can do a rough estimate here, you can see per acre here, profit is, tada! 50 ringgit is actually based on a pretty optimistic projection of, if the market, the blackthorn durian, which is the latest durian here that's popular here in Malaysia, if that actually takes off. So we are gonna drop you another projection here that is based on the Musang King durian, because Musang King is still a relatively stable breed durian here that has quite a consistent demand. So you can see the durian average pricing is actually 35 to 40 ringgit. You can see from the statement. Okay, so now you know the cost and profit projection and you are still interested. So early on we talked about the setup. There is the irrigation system, there's the plowing, setting up of the land. There's also the very technical aspect of planting a tree. Like planting a durian tree, how do you fertilize it? How do you do the stem grafting, which is a really important part of the process to get a really nice breed. Our channel have a lot more videos on how do you actually do the technical aspect of planting durian, what to expect, so feel free to check out our videos here. And we also want to talk about the location. Like where durian grows really well is a lot at Southeast Asia region. Where I'm at here is in Malaysia, it's in the Pahang state. Then there is also countries like Thailand as well as Indonesia. These are all good places to be planting durian. So the tropical climate is actually important. There are some places in Europe or Australia that plant a little bit of durian, but generally we talk where durian will blossom. We are talking about this region here in Southeast Asia. So there's also the important piece about law. Like here in Malaysia, here if you are a dusun, you can plant any fruit. So durian is part of it. But if you are actually the land is registered under rubber estate, then you can only plant rubber tree, and you actually need to go and change that. So do check the law of your country too, like what is actually available, or what can you actually plant in each of these places. So I would just like to end this video also with this core concept that I spoke to the local farmer about, that he shared that the process of planting a durian tree, managing a durian orchard felt like a never-ending learning process, because there's always going to be new disease that you are managing. There's gonna be like a new pest that show up, and sometimes there will be new issue, trees falling. There's just a lot of variety of things that is going on in this industry when it comes to the technical aspect of planting the durian tree that sometimes nobody got the solution to, and that is when you will need to just experiment with it yourself until your durian tree actually starts to bear fruit and for it to be profitable again for you. So that is something to be expected in this whole learning journey of durian, that he shared that he would, like if there's a new disease that he do know, he speaks to the fertilizer people, he's gonna try out this medicine, doesn't work, durian tree die, okay, the next round this disease happen again, try another way until it works. So there's a lot of trial and error in this industry, and the learning is almost like it doesn't stop. So that is his experience, and that is going to be a large part of what to expect if he decided to get into the business of starting a durian orchard. So that's the end of today's video. We hope the information presented to you is helpful. If it's helpful to you, please leave a thumbs up on this video. Do like, share, subscribe. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave it down in the comments below. If you want to clarify things with us, you can also discuss with us in the comment section below. Once again, we are also still learning. These are all based on the conversation with a local farmer here. So if you have any questions, any clarification, anything that was different from you, just feel free to put it in the comment and we can discuss with you. So we hope this video is helpful and have a great day.